How's that for sound? Is that repeated now? I can hear me talk, which isn't brilliant. I'm not sure why this is happening, because it worked perfectly fine last time. I don't know why this is happening. So everyone can hear me okay. It's just me that can't hear me okay. Waiting to see if people agree in the chat. We'll just have to plow on then. Unless I can mess around with some audio. Bear with us 1 second if you don't mind. Talk amongst yourselves. Can you hear me now? Is this good? I hope it is. If you can hear me now, that's brilliant. Type it in the chat, let me know. If you can't, I'll have to revert back to the old system, which was annoying for me because I could hear myself, but if it works for you, it works. So just let me know in the chat now, and then as soon as this is sorted, we'll get cracking. Andy's saying you can hear me but not in sync with the speech. That'll be okay because I'm going to turn this camera off in a second, so it'll just be this camera soon. So we'll just hang fire for a second. Sound okay? I'm not as loud now. Okay, let's see how we get on. If quite a bit, okay, we'll crack on then. If you do feel like you can't hear me properly and you want to revert back to the old system, that's absolutely fine. Just let me know. But right, let's crack on. I hope everyone's doing okay this morning. My name's Dylan, as you all are aware. I'm a product developer, kit builder, and customer service assistant for Scale Model Scenery. Today, I've got quite a special day because we're having a look at this new kit. This isn't what it says on the packaging side. It is a more detailed, upgraded version of our LX055 pallet-size security fencing. So let's get this open and let's have a look. So in the kit, you get a page of instructions, a page of fencing, and a sheet of detailing posts. So you've got the instructions, don't need to worry about them too much for the time being. These go together exactly the same as our previous LX55. All what's changed is the extra detail. So if I could try and show you it on camera, it might not be very clear. But you now have what appear to be like forked ends with more detail. You also got like a crease down the middle, which again just adds to the variety, adds to the detail. Right, let's do this way. Hopefully you can see this better. Quite a few people are saying that the speed's a bit slow. Yeah, I do have the internet equivalent of a potato. So that would be an unfortunate byproduct of that, I'm afraid. It is a shame. I am doing everything I can to solve that issue, but fortunately there's only so much I can do for that. Right, so let's get into it. I'm not going to do the whole job today, and since I don't have the correct paints to paint this, and I'll go into that later, I don't think I'm going to paint this today, but if you would like, I can show you. This is our KX57 barn, and I can show you how I achieved this paint finish, this stone paint finish, if you'd like. Or, if you wouldn't like, option C is I can build and then potentially paint this. So you've got a couple of minutes to decide whichever you prefer. If you want to see the painting and building of the fence, I will do that for you. Or if you'd like to see how I paint stone on our pavement strips, which I've already pre-primed, I will do that for you. So let me know what you'd like, and I will aim to please. So let's get into this kit build we're about to release. So I hope everyone's having a good week. It's been quite a manic week for us here at Scale Model Scenery. Quite a lot of things have been going off. Of course, as most of you will know, we've got the new app, the new club, which is really taking up a lot of time to get things sorted and get things moving. We've just been, me and Ian have been setting up special interest groups for people's layouts. So if you don't know what that is, it's essentially your own group within our group for your layout. So it's like your own thread where you're the only one that can post. That is an option. You don't have to have that. We can turn it off for you, but we can have it so only you can post in your interest group. It just means that you can post updates on your layout without it getting filtered out with other people posting and seeing every other post from myself, Justin, or other people. It's entirely dedicated to you and to your layout, which will be quite nice for you to also document the progress, so you can go back and see how it's come along. It's like essentially a photo album where people can interact and comment and give their feedback and whatnot. They are completely free of charge. Do not charge them at all. All you have to do is email us, help@ScaleModelScenery, with a couple of photos that you would like as your profile photo and header photo of your layout, and your username on the ScaleModelers.com club, and a brief summary. Is it modern image? Is it LMS? Is it what era sort of thing? What gauge or scale? And then we'll do the rest for you, and then we'll send you an email with a link to your special interest group, or SIG as we call them for short. And you can post away, post your heart's content. And if you want any info changing, any photos changing, if you want to be able for people to post on the thread, all you have to do is message us through the same channel, help@ScaleModelScenery, and we will take care of the rest for you. It's really simple, really easy, and it's a great way of getting people to follow your layout and watch how you get along. So we've nearly released the first part. I have just realised as well that in my haste of getting prepared this morning, I haven't actually got... A, I've not sorted my glues out, and B, I've not sorted out the wet container for my glue so it doesn't dry up, but I'll have to improvise on the spot. Or I might have to put a little interlude in while I go and sort myself out. I have got a thing of water, so I might just dip a bit of tissue in there and use that. Okay, so we get 4 of these in a pack, 4 strips. Each strip is about 29 centimeters long, just over, and you get 4 per pack. As you can see, I'll try and show you the detail a bit closer if I can. Where's the paper gone? There we go. Hopefully now I've released one, we can get a bit closer and have a better look. So hopefully you can see that. There is a bit of a delay between what I can see on the camera and what you can see, so it could be a bit awkward. There you go. Hopefully you can make that out. It's essentially forked palisade fencing. Or palisade. I'm not too sure how you pronounce it. I would suggest you just need to be a little bit careful releasing them. Just maybe make sure you don't clip the detailing stuff. But it looks like it's come out quite nice, to be honest. So all we need to do now is we get sheet 2. Ta-da, as you can see. And these, if you can look at the instructions, as you can see, these just bolster up the fence, make them a bit more chunky, make them a bit more I can have a bit more depth of detail. As you can see, we need to glue some parts over the top, and then we've got a little gate. We'll see how far we get with the gate, but for the now, I'm just going to do parts B and C and glue them all on here. And if we address the kit map, which has been handily provided. Also, I'd like to apologise if you can hear any airplanes taking off, like that one. I do live extremely close to a busy airport, so we could get interrupted a number of times with aircraft. But it's quite fun to watch, but unfortunately I don't think you can see. So if you look at the kit map, we can see that parts B and C we need to release are this strip and these sections here. And so we'll just crack on with them now, shall we? So, questions in the chat. Andrew saying, how is the club different from RM Web? There are lots of forum clubs out there. What makes this one special? What's special about this one, Andrew, is it is entirely our own club. We don't do any advertising on there. I know on RM Web you can get quite a lot of pop-up ads, banner ads are quite all over the place, which to me kind of put me off. I do have an account on RM Web. I do follow a couple of threads. The likes of Tony Wright and the chap who's building a model of York. I do follow them on RM Web. But what puts me off is the constant adverts you see all over the place. We don't have that on our club. Another advantage for ours is we have an app. So you can download it onto your phone and take it anywhere you want with you. Which I think for the modern era is very handy indeed. It means that it's a lot easier to access everything. It's a lot easier to get things done. It's quicker and easier to post. We also have a behind the scenes point system. So the more interactive you are, the more you're posting, the more you're commenting. Every time you get involved, it adds points onto your account. And then every quarter of the year, every couple of months, we can have a look at those points, take the top so many, and we can reward the top so many with, I don't think we've entirely decided what with yet, but it could be anything from merchandise to maybe a premium subscription free of charge for a couple of weeks, or free access to a couple of kits, or maybe access to a VIP tour of the factory if ever down our way. So that's behind the scenes. We don't publish what makes the points work. If that makes sense, like what points are worth in a way. Maybe because we don't know ourselves, to be honest. But there is that feature. We can see who are the top contributors of the club, and we can see how you're doing. Another good feature about it as well. So this is a bit like a salesman pitch, but we have a premium section, which I believe costs £6.99 per month, or about £50 per year. I can't quite remember exactly the figures. I'm sure someone will correct me. And that gives you unlimited access to all of our downloads that we have available. I believe it's nearly 1,000 download items now. And for £6.99 a month, you can download them in unlimited quantities and to your heart's content. Which I think, if you're scratch building, it makes scratch building very feasible, very cheap. Because of course we have loads of like brick papers, different brick bonds, different paint finishes, different weathering styles, and then we've got the same for all gauges. Well, N, O, double O, which you can rescale to any different size if you want. But we also have the same for roof tiles, for flooring, for pavement, for walkways. The list is endless, to be honest. So you have unlimited access to all of them, which is something you don't get with RM Web. That's no worries, Tom, and have fun with your appointment. And a couple of other questions. Yeah, Steve is saying that RMWeb can be very critical as well. That is true. RMWeb, you've got a lot of high standard modelers and modelers who like to think they're of a high standard and like to criticize for the sake of criticizing. Which if you get involved with them, it can be a bit demoralizing maybe. I always want to take criticism. I always think that it's the best way to improve, but I know not everyone is the same. If you think what you've done is good and really good, and then someone comes along and says, yeah, what you need to do this differently, or it's wrong, it can put you down a bit. And I like to think that on our club, we don't have that. We're a very friendly environment, friendly, constructive, helpful, and positive, as opposed to critical and cynical that you may find on others. So, yep, so, who asked that? Andrew asked, is this kit card or wood? It is laserboard wood. It's a form of MDF. The answer to your question is very thin, unfortunately. I don't have the exact measurements. I believe it is 0.8 millimeters thick. So it is very thin. It's quite... So this is the main construction. As you can see, it's bendy. It's really bendy. You can have this going around your curves or any contours of your layout or anything. You can have that sorted. It will go around anything. It's not brittle as plastic. It's not as restrictive as plastic, and it's got a bit more bite to it than card as well, which is why we like it. So, Chris, yes, fire away, please. Any questions, please put them in the chat. I'll do my best to answer all of them. I am here until we finish, so I'll stay here answering all of your questions. There's no rush at all. So that's saying that he's found the club more friendly and helpful on RMWeb. Lots of criticism rather than help on the few questions I've asked on RMWeb. Yeah, my way or the highway. Yeah, that is an unfortunate aspect of RMWeb, unfortunately, and other clubs as well. Like I say, hopefully with our club members, we're a lot more helpful, a lot more friendly and supportive. So we've nearly got there now. I'm not too sure how many we need per single piece of fencing. So I'm just going to release a couple to see how we get on. My knife is incredibly blunt, so this is not going to work. One thing I always try and recommend is if you can have a really sharp knife with a fairly new blade, go for it. It makes a world of difference to the finish of your kits, because it leaves much cleaner cuts, which in the end results in a much cleaner looking build. I would change this blade on this knife, but for some reason I cannot get the knife out of the holder. It's something I can't do for some reason. It won't come out at all. So I might just cut my losses, and when I go to HQ next week, I might pick up a new Swan & Morton knife, because this one is getting blunt, and I can't change the blade. I probably could if I spent hours and hours and hours with a load of WD-40 and tweezers and vices or whatever, but it's probably better use of my time just to treat myself to a one. Yeah, so Christopher's saying that he is fed up with the ads every minute. Yeah, there's a lot on other sites, unfortunately, and that's something we like to pride ourselves in. There's no ads at all. You might see the occasional post from us saying, hey, look at these new kits, but none of the spam style ads that you get accustomed to on RMWeb or any other sites. My screen has just gone down. I don't know if that's the same for everyone else, but I can't see you. Hopefully. That's not good. That's not good at all. I have no idea people can hear and see me. I have no idea what's happening. Right, sorry about that. I have no idea what happened. My screen went completely blank. So hopefully, if this carries on, right, we're good. I do apologize about that, ladies and gentlemen. No idea what happened. My screen just went completely blank, and then it kicked me off StreamYard, which is the service we use. I've turned my Wi-Fi off. I've gone onto my personal hotspot instead. So hopefully that is going to improve things. Please let me know if you can't. Yeah, hopefully if you can't see me or hear me, you will let me know, and then I can solve the issue. Now I think about it, that would have been a perfect opportunity to go and sort out my glue. But, I didn't think of that, so well. Hopefully I can get around it. I think I know of a way to do it. If not, might have to talk amongst yourselves for a second while I go and get it. So let's just have a look at the chat. Any questions, please consider putting them in. So Chris has said, could you please consider doing some part-side fencing that are at 45-degree angles so I can use it on my embankments? Do you mean, yeah, you mean a 45-degree angle like that, don't you? Going up a hill. That would be possible for this. Actually, no, it wouldn't. How would you do that? Yeah, I think that's one of those things where it'll be easier and better for us to design the kit for that rather than kit bashing it. So yes, I will add that to our to-do list. Our current waiting list for new kits, depending on what it is, ranges from anything from a couple of weeks to a year or two, to be honest. So yeah, so that should be quite a nice quick one for us to do. But if not, we'll get it done eventually. But that would be a nice one to do. So I will get on to Justin for that one, and I'll see where we're at with that one. Right, so glue time. Let's have a look at the chat again. Yeah, probably went in sleep mode. That is unfortunate. I do apologise about that. No idea why it happened. But it did. So just have to keep calm, carry on, and hopefully I can get this glue to quickly work. I might do it this way instead. I haven't got a container or anything, so I might just dampen a bit of tissue. This is why it really pays to prepare well. I spent ages getting my camera set up all perfect. Hoping it will work. And then I completely forgot about one of the most important things, which is glue. But if you can see that, I'm just fashioning, there we go, a little glue stand. Right, so for this kit, all you need to do with this, hopefully you can see this, is you have B sections which glue on horizontally, and you have A sections which glue on vertically, like that. And we just pause start, try and find some tweezers in my magic drawer of bits. There we go, I'll do. Right, so good morning everyone. We've got 130 people in the chat, which is great to see. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's not getting too carried away in the pubs. So very, very thin bead of glue on there. This is Rocket Materials laser cut kit glue, which is my favourite flavour of glue. It's what I use for pretty much everything, to be honest. Pretty much everything I do is that. It's making sure it's all lined up. I think this is going to be one of those things where, yeah, I'm going to be using the first one I did to get everything else done and in line. So the first one's always going to be the hardest. Also, it'd be a good idea to make sure that I keep these separate from them because they're different sizes. I don't want to accidentally put the wrong ones on. So apologies if you can see my hair, but my camera is rather low to the screen. If you can see what I'm doing as well. Just get my jerry-rigged glue stand. There we go. So, I might have missed what people have said, but what is the general consensus of what you'd like to see next if we have time? I can either paint some LX001 and LX006 fencing, like 5-bar fence, or I can show you how I painted up the stone and the KX7 barn. I'll do that on some strips of pavement rather than Will's sheet, like I did on that, but it'll be the same effect, it'll have the same appearance, and it's quite quick and simple, to be honest. It's one of those things where it's a very realistic looking item which takes no time at all. Well, it takes some time, obviously. Morning, Roger. How you doing? Hope everyone's doing well. People are saying it's a tweezer job, but to be fair, I've not needed them yet. He says. Hopefully keeping things a bit straight and level. Right, I might not do the whole length of this, simply because it's a very repetitive task. I might do that much and just show you that. So you can speed things up and get more done. But it's very simple, this kit. All I'm doing is gluing horizontal bars and vertical bars onto one sheet of the fencing, just to give it more depth, more appeal. And you know what I was saying about keeping them separate because of different lengths? I've just glued the like a horizontal onto a vertical. No, other way around. A vertical onto a horizontal. It didn't look right. So that's why my favourite saying is always measure twice, cut once. Or in this case, measure twice, glue once. Just make sure that's on level. Apologies if you can hear the airplane flying overhead. I'm not sure what it is. Hopefully we don't have anything big and noisy interrupt us. Since we are one of the freight hubs for the north of England, we have a lot of Boeing 747s landing here. I mean a lot. We must have 90% of the world's flying at 747 fleet here. Also, if anyone's interested in aviation, we also have some of the only flying Boeing 727s based here as well, which are for the oil spill response team, which I always think sound like Godzilla's knocking on your door when they take off, because they are very loud, very proud, and very, I think the pilots must have been ex-Lancaster pilots, something, Dambuster Squadron, because they always fly just above the house, which is great to watch, but it's not so great when trying to do a live stream. But not of them yet, and hopefully we can stay clear. So, Roger's saying, what are all those references to stone about? I missed your first 20 minutes. So basically, Roger, after I finish a bit of this, I am either going to paint some stone, show you how I painted this. Hopefully you can see that. Nice stone effect barn. I'll be doing it on our pavement rather than a wheel stone. Or I can show you how I build and paint the KX006. So just put in the chat whichever you prefer, and I'll have a little look at the consensus, see what the general idea is, and we'll go with that. I would paint this, but with a kit this thin, you can see how thin this kit is. It's paper thin. I would recommend using a primer, a spray rattle can primer, to paint it, so you get the thinnest possible coat, and you don't risk ruining the kit, because as some of you may know, if you use lots and lots of acrylic paint on our kits or enamel paint or anything, if you use too much, you can actually saturate the kit, which causes it to swell, fray up, and basically do that rather than that. And it can ruin the kit, unfortunately. So, especially for the very thin materials like this, I recommend priming it. And since I am doing a live stream from my office, it's not possible to do that, unfortunately. So I can't paint it for you today, otherwise I would. Plus, I don't think I own any sort of iron colour paint, which is strange. I seem to have every colour apart from that. I've got some Humbrol gunmetal, Humbrol 63. That looks all right, but like I say, that's a little acrylic pot, and it's not very good for this sort of job. So hopefully you can see that now. Oops. We just have a little bit of depth to the kit, a little bit of 3D effect onto it. You're meant to do the back as well, obviously. But we've got a whole length to do. It's taken me a couple of minutes to do that much, so I might just carry on. So Steve saying Boeing 727 visited Aberdeen earlier this week. Great to see such an old aircraft still in service. It definitely is. And we have, I think there's 3 oil spill response 727s flying. And there are 2 based at Doncaster, which is amazing for us when they're both out flying. You know about it. You certainly do know about it. You shake the house down. They also fly a lot with the Red Arrows. Do a lot of formation flying with them, which since we're very close to Lincolnshire, we also see them quite a bit, which is always nice. You never hear me complain about that. Oh. Ignore me, I'm just messing things up. Maybe glued the wrong thing on again. So kept saying it looks really nice. Yeah, I think it looks all right, to be honest. It's got a nice effect on the top. It's got like a forked effect, sort of like that. So it looks really nice. Hopefully you can see that. It's kind of peeled away a bit at the top because it was the top one on the sprue. If I'd used like the middle one, it probably would have looked a bit nicer. But hey ho, make do with what we've got. And that one's just peeling up a bit, so we just press it down. Yep, so Dig is saying it's called Parside Security Fencing, LX017. This isn't the LX017, Digger, this is the LX2 something. 429, sorry, 429. It's a new kit. It's a slightly improved, more detailed version that we've got coming out in the next couple of weeks. I should imagine if you are a VIP member, going back to what was said earlier, this is another advantage of being a VIP member over, or first class member over a standard member, is you'll get a week's access to all of our kits before we go into general sale. So this kit will probably be available to order on Saturday or Friday night for first class members, and then it'll be available to order for general sale on our main website the Friday or Saturday after. So let's have a look. So Roger's saying, yes, you have guessed me right. But apparently I have a southern accent, which I take offence to that, Roger. I rather hope I don't have a southern accent. I've never really been south of the M25 in my life. But yes, I'm from Doncaster, from Yorkshire. think I'd have a bit of a stage accent, shall we say. Talk Queen's English when I'm on the phone and when I'm doing live stream, but then it all turns a bit Yorkshire when I'm just at home or talking to Justin or Ian. But yes, I'm from Doncaster, and yes, I've just glued the wrong thing on again. God, it's a wonder I've not done it more often. Get some more glue on. What's this little height, please, Dylan? If you bear with me a second, Alan, while I just glue this, I will measure it up and let you know. It is to scale, it is correct, but I'm not too sure what it is exactly. So just glue that last piece on. Okay, where's my rule? So the whole thing, including the posts, which you will hopefully put into your baseboard so you won't see them, the whole thing is about 34 millimeters tall, which I just refer back to my chart, is just over 8 foot, 8.5 foot. But if we ignore the extra long legs and we just go for the actual fencing bit, it looks to be 25 foot tall, which is, sorry, 25 millimeters tall, which is just over 6 foot, 6 foot and 33, yeah, 6 foot and 1 inch, 6 foot and 1 inch by the looks of it. But of course, you might have half of that going away, so it's probably more close to 7 foot tall. Yeah, it's looking nice. We're nearly there. I think what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to mess around with the last couple of bits because I'm running out of parts. I'm going to cut some more. I was going to go ahead and start on the other side. In fact, before I do that, since I've only got 2 horizontals left, I'm just going to quickly cut some more out. We will be making a 45-degree one of these for inclines. I suppose I've not done one of them already, to be honest. But I will put it just in, I will add it to our to-do list, and we'll get that done sooner rather than later for you all. Okay, let's release a couple of more of these, just to give us enough to send it home. Oops. So what's everyone doing this weekend for modelling? No, I won't be doing much because I am going down, or me and Ian are going down to Truro for the first time, which is going to be excellent. Looking forward to seeing the whole team. I've met Justin a couple of times, but only as flying visits. I've never actually really met him. I worked at Wally with him, obviously, but at Wally was so busy, we didn't have any time to talk or get to know each other or anything. So it's going to be nice to get down there and to see the whole team. Get to know everyone, get to know Sam, never met him before, or Frank. Or any other member of the team. It's going to be great. It's going to be interesting. We're travelling down on Sunday, working the whole week down there, me and Ian, and then back up on Saturday. So it's going to be a change of scenery, to say the least. Of course, telesales will be open as normal. Ian's manning the telesales phone as normal. So any issues you have will get answered, will get through. But we're just working a different place. The thing about being mobile workers is you can pretty much work anywhere and still give you the excellent customer service that you all like and enjoy. We may even go live altogether from the HQ next week, which will be fun and entertaining. Hopefully can get a bit of more interaction going, get a couple more better shots of things, because I'm very limited here of what I've got. I have to get this and send things up to me, so sometimes it's you forget about things that you think, oh, I wish I had that. It'll make a nice little scenery. Or I wish I could put this against something to show you. So it'd be nice to have more tools available. Oops. He says, making that a bit messy. Line it up a bit. For the slope side fencing, maybe you could do in 3 variants. Yes, that is a good answer. That's a good question. So we will probably do it in. I'll have to have a look at what I suppose the most common angles would be for inclines. I don't think there really is one, is there? So maybe we'll just do 10, 20 and a 45 degree or something. I think a 45 degree embankment or something will probably be a bit too steep for real life, but a compromise on the model railway, so we might do that as well. I'll have to have a think. We'll have to bash our heads together to see what the best way to do it is. But yeah, we will definitely do a couple of options here. Can't make any promises to when they'll be available, when they'll be out. But we will add them to the to-do list. Just a case of when with them. Right, so I'll do 2 more, I think. Yeah, I'll do 2 more of these because then I ran out of parts. I need to cut some more, and then I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll crack on something else. Delta team, hope the weather is good. So do I. It'll be lovely to go for some nice evening walks along the coast. If a couple of you might know me a bit better than the others, you'll know I am obsessed with the North Yorkshire coast. I base all my models pretty much around sort of Whitby way, the Esk Valley way. So I absolutely love the coast. So I am looking forward to take advantage of where we're staying to try and get some nice coastal walks done after work in the evenings. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the weather holds out for us. But at the moment, I've only been able to check up until Monday next week for the weather, and it is rain, unfortunately. So I have no idea what the weather's been like. As you can know, from the weather this week, I don't know about you, but here it's been 1 minute it's been glorious sunshine like it is now. The next minute it's been raining cats and dogs, and there's no warning. It just comes on all of a sudden. Thunderstorms as well. I've had loads of thunderstorms here recently, which has been great for me because I love them. I love watching them, but not so great when you're wanting to get out and do things. But it has meant that I've been able to get some more modelling done. What I've been doing recently, I've been really getting into building my white metal kits, 51L white metal wagon kits. I'm a bit obsessed with them at the moment. Here's my latest one that I've been cracking on with, if you're interested. This is probably an hour or two's work, probably less. It's an amazing kit to build. I do think that it's so easy to build these white metal kits now. If you get the right ones like this, where everything just pretty much falls together, you don't have to do any proper work. The whole thing just falls together. You don't have to worry about getting things wrong. It's amazing to just chuck together in an evening and you've got a wagon built, ready to go. So, if I'll just glue that last piece on just to finish it off a bit. And if you excuse, there's an RAF plane actually, a live trainer taken off. Once I've done this, I'll have a look at the chat, I'll have a look at the questions if there is any, and I'll show you what we've done here. So, Dylan, can you send pics of the embankment? Can I send you pics of my embankment, please? Yes, please do. You can send them any photos of what you've been doing for modelling wise. You can either post in our club, which is community.railroadmodellers.com, or you can email us help@ScaleModelScenery, or you can send us a message on Facebook and we will get them. So yes, please do, and then we can use that as reference material for your angled parside fencing. Neil is saying gales and rain predicted for Thursday to Saturday at the moment in Cornwall. That's not good for us, to be honest. I would rather hope for some nice sunny weather, but we'll have to see then, won't we? Yeah, so you can send them to help@ScaleModelScenery.co.uk, Chris, and then we'll get them and we can have a look at them there. Take them there. Or you can, like I say, post them on the club and we'll see them. But that, hopefully you can see this. Let me just get my bit of paper. Hopefully you can see that. Excuse my furry arm. It's very hard to get the camera to focus onto this. It's so small and fiddly, but as you can see, it's got some nice raised detail on there now. Nice bit of depth, nice bit of tone to it, I suppose. It just gives it a bit of variety, a bit of spice. It's a change. Of course, this is taking me, what time is it now? It's 10 to 11. So it's taken me probably 40 minutes to get this much done. But of course, I've been distracted with talking and getting things done and sorting out issues with the mic. So this is quite a nice and easy, quick kit for you to get finished a certain amount of time. So you can really motor on with that. Start getting like a production line going. You can get them done really nice and quickly. So now let's have a look. I think the general consensus is doing the stone. So let me just save my glue before that all dries up. Get a lid for that, just don't allow it to dry. So this is the KX57 barn. This is something I've been doing for the a little diorama I've been building. And it's got a nice stone effect to it, I think. I think it looks really quite realistic. I am very proud of this, and it's dead easy to do. The longest part of the job is waiting for paint to dry. But since I have predicted this, I've already done the base coat. So we'll be doing, I'll be showing you this on our KX217 pavement. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, as you can see, I've already released two to have a go at to paint up to prepare for you. The first step is to paint it black, but you have to let it fully dry. You could use a mix of Mod Podge and black paint, or you could just use standard black acrylic paint. As long as it's got a nice base colour to it, you could even use Halford's black primer or something. It doesn't particularly matter. So let's crack on. Right, let me just get sorted a second. I don't need that. I am using today acrylic paint from the Works, I believe, not the Works side, the range, I think it is. Any brand does, to be honest, for this sort of large quantity. As long as you have enough of it to keep consistency, you're good to go, to be honest. And for highlights and for small details, I'll be using the Lifecolor Stone Grey set. You can order these in. We can get these ordered to HQ, and we can buy them through us. We're out of stock at the moment, but hopefully we can do a restock soon. And if you just bear with 1 second, let's go have a quick drink. Sorry if that sounded really weird to you, but I am a bit parched. Right, step one is to paint it all black. As you can see, my lovely assistant did that for me last night. So many thanks to Holly. Now we need to get a medium-size-ish flat paintbrush. Dip it a bit in water just to get the bristles loosened up. Take a bit of tissue. There we go. So this is just buff titanium. It doesn't really matter what colours you use as long as they're like the same sort of browns. Just paint that in. This is one of those things, unfortunately, where it looks absolutely disgusting and horrible right up until the last possible moment. Right up until the final washes, it looks awful. So until then, you just got to keep going, unfortunately. It looks cartoonish, it looks naff, it looks really quite bad, but you just got to keep it going. Trust me, keep calm and carry on. It will be all fine. We're also looking for quite a bit of variety in this, so it does not matter if one piece of stone's got less paint than the other. It doesn't matter at all. And try and get the paint to go all the way to the edge. There we go. If you want me to make a proper tutorial on this, rather than just showing you a live stream, I will do. I can write an article up for the club, or I could even do a little Facebook video, which we'll upload to our YouTube page. So if you're interested in that, let me know, and I'll get all that done for you. So I'm just putting a second coat on, just to give it a bit of depth. You have to try and not get so much paint in all the nooks and crannies. You have to try and keep it a bit thin if you can. I should probably water this down a bit for this effect, since it's just pavement. It's not much engraved detail on it because of the nature of what it is. But I'm happy to just carry on. I think it's going to look fine still. It's going to be a slightly different effect to what I've done on the barn, because the barn is Will's stone. It's not ours. It's a lot thicker, a lot more depth to it than pavement stuff, simply through the nature of what it is. There you can see there. So I'll just quickly sort my paintbrush out. Right. So Digger's saying, Life Colour are great paints, love the pigment. Yes, I really do sing their praises. They are incredible, to be honest. I love them. I can't get enough of them. I've nearly got every single paint set they do, to be honest. So for the next step, once this has dried a bit, I probably should have done one earlier and let that dry. Oh well, I suppose a bit of the variety, a bit of wet painting might give it more variety. So now you need to get some, pick 2 accent colours, any 2 accent colours. So in this colour set, you got blue stone, brown stone, dark sandstone, green, reddish, and light stone. I'm going to blank out that. I'm not going to use that because I'm going to use it later for something else. So I'm going to go blue stone and probably dark sandstone. Yes, so let's get blue stone. What are you? Light stone, say that else. Brown, dark sandstone. There we go. They're the 2 we need. I'm saving the light sandstone for something else. That will become apparent later. And we also need just white as well. But those 2 are for later. We can save them. We're also going to be using a brown wash and a black wash. So we need them for later as well. But for now, all we need is 2 accent colours. Let's give them a good... Dave was saying he loves a good messy cutting mat. A messy cutting mat shows that you use it. It's good. But it was my birthday last week, and my amazing, wonderful partner got me a brand new one, which is perfect. I'm going to save this one for actually cutting texture sheets out on there, because I do find if you have any paint or glues on your cutting mat and you're cutting texture sheets or anything more fine, it can sort of ruin the effects of the paper a bit. So I'm going to save that one for other jobs. Giving these a quick shake up. Hopefully that's good enough. So we need to get a paintbrush which is roughly the same size as the stones we're painting. That's a bit too big. I have to go find a smaller one. That'll do. Right. I'm not too sure how this will turn out, to be honest, because this is still very wet. I'll show you what it looks like. Like I say, even coverage does not matter at all. Because there's so many sort of layers to this, it will all get covered up anyway. Oh, there we go. So that's the dark sandstone. And this is the blue stone. Hopefully you can see them there. So Chris saying email them pictures slope fencing been sent? Please look out for them. Yep, will do. I will have a look and reply to your email as soon as I finish on here. Ian might get to it first, but I'll still be able to dig it out. So, right. Wish me luck. I've never done this with wet paint before, so I don't know how well it's going to go. Bit of the blue first. Hopefully you can see this. Hopefully I don't obscure the camera too much. All we need to do is paint seemingly random in the two colours. Since this is a pavement as well, as opposed to something like this, which is just stone. What I was saying, I hope you're dipping those brushes into a wet part. So I am. I've got a pot of water next to me. But painting is not my strong point. I'm better at the computer modelling, the CAD work, rather than this. But I like to have a go. And I like to do things so you don't have to. If you think this looks rubbish and you don't want to try this method, to me that's as much of a win as someone liking it and trying it, because I always think, well, you know you don't like it, so you know not to try it, and you're a step closer to finding your perfect style, if that makes sense. So I like to do things just for the sake of doing them, and if you don't like it or feel like you've got a better way, you know not to try this. So I do like to just have a go and show you guys for the greater good. So it's painting seemingly random in the bluestone grey. Again, we can order these in, these live colour sets. So if you do want one, please let us know and I'll add it to our order list. Not sure when we're doing our next order, but it should be soonish. Not too sure though. These didn't hang around last time as well. They went out of stock very, very quickly. I do one called Lichen and Moss, which I'm going to get next time. And it's basically a set of washes, powders, and pigments in various greens and browns, and you can use it to create mossy effects and overgrown lichen. I think it looks fairly cool and can be used to good effects on things like buffer stops. I've got a little diorama, which is what this is from, that I'm building at the moment, which includes a DCC concept buffer stop, which I've painted up in very nice rusty colours. I have a couple of photos I found on the rear of them. They've got lots of moss and lichen growing up the back, so I think that'll be a very nice detail to add in. But I just need to get paint set first for that one. It's an SF Raton or Raton from New Zealand, off to bed because of course it's 10 PM for him. So we'll see you tomorrow. See what joys tomorrow brings, and let us know if anything happens in the future as well. Let us know what the stock market's going to do. Hang on, not sure it works like that, does it? So I'm just going to do a couple more of these, and then I'll start on the next colour, which is a reddy colour. With this as well, I'm using just 2 highlights. There's nothing stopping you using 4 or 10 or 3. You can really take this to town and really go as far as you want. I'm using a brown wash and a black wash. There's nothing stopping you using a brown, a black, a grey, another brown, or I've used black primer. You could use brown primer. You could do anything. I'm just doing it the way I've been shown. But there's 1,001 different ways you can do yours. So it really, I suppose, doesn't matter how you do it. You can do it one way, think, oh, that looks nice, but I think it would look nice if it had a bit more greenstone in it. I'll use some more greenstone. Oh, but I like the brown, so I'll keep the brown in. I'll use 3 or 4 accent colours. You can just take it to town. You can use as many as you want, get as much variety as you want, or you can use as little as you want. Excuse the nice looking RAF surveillance plane taking off. Although I do think, oh no, I was going to say, I think the second accent colour is too similar to the base tan that we've used, but actually it looks alright, to be honest. It's quite a bit different. Hopefully you can see that. Try and quickly hurry this up so we can get a reasonable finishing time. If anyone's got any questions about what I'm doing, please do put it in the chat. So Roger spent yesterday up a ladder spraying algaecide on my garage rendering. Moss and lichen are loving the weather. Yes. Our house, when we moved into it, it was absolutely covered in green plants that grow up your house. I'm not sure what they're called. Maybe we should borrow some for your weathering there, Roger. I think as well, since this is a piece of pavement, it might be good to actually paint the curbing stones in the blue as well. Because of course they're not going to, they should all be the same colour. A nice blue, so I might go back and just quickly paint one side of them. Nearly done now. Go paint a couple more. Like I say, I'm just doing this quite rushed, quite unneat, just to get it done so you can see the general effects. But you can take as much time as you want over this, doing as many accent colours as you want to create the effects you want. There's no limit on how much time you have to spend on this at all. Right, so that's looking, let's get that bit there. That's looking alright to me, I think. So there you go. Try and hold that up to show you. Doesn't look alright, doesn't look, at the moment, looks a bit messy. And to be fair, it is messy. I am not the neatest at painting by any stretch of the imagination. But hopefully you'll be able to see where we're going with this soon. I'm just going to quickly paint over the curb stones in this blue, or grey blue. Since I would do imagine they will just be this colour anyway. There we go. Like I say, this looks garish and horrible right up until the last moment, so you just need to bear with it, keep going, and trust it, I suppose. There we go. That's the curb zone done. I dig as you say, the BRM magazine's just arrived. I think, yeah, I think that's the issue where Tony Wright's done a nice feature on the A22s and the A23s, maybe. That's one I'm wanting to get. So if you can, Digger, I'd appreciate it if you could just flick through that for us and let me know if that's in this month. And I'll have to then go and find one, dig one out. So this is Lightstone now. Getting this bit mixed up. I think that's mixed up enough, to be honest. So I'm going to put it back on and give it a good shake. Hopefully that's enough. Like I say, I don't think it matters too much. This is just demonstration for the technique. If you want to know how I did this properly, I suppose, without focusing on camera reading questions as well, I can do a better tutorial and take more time in explaining the whole thing. So this is light stone, and I will be just dry brushing this over the top. I think I should probably get a slightly bigger paintbrush. Yeah, I think I should probably get a bigger one, because that's looking alright, but it's going to take me forever. Saying that though, appears to be nearly done. Yep. So all we're doing is just giving it some accents, giving it some depth. Just changing the colour up a bit. So still got 9 people watching, so thanks for not getting so bored when you all run away, but I won't blame you, to be fair. I do sometimes wonder if this is at all entertaining, but 91 of you say it is, so we'll carry on with that. So hopefully you can see that sort of blends it in a bit more, a tiny bit. Like I say, this isn't the best. This is looking a lot more rough than when I did that, so I'm not sure it's going to go to the same effect. We'll carry on. We'll see what's going to happen. Like I say, I don't really mind if it goes wrong, because if it all goes wrong, then I know I can tell you what I did wrong, and then you can not make those mistakes on my behalf, which I think is quite a nice way of going about things. I make the mistakes, so you don't have to. So I'm just going to get rid of all of the excess paint on this brush, because now I'm going to put away the light stone, and I'm going to get out the white. It's plain white, nothing special about it. And this is particularly useful on vertical items like the stone building. Oh, 727 I was referring to is about to take off. So sorry if you can hear that. Wasn't quite as loud as it normally is, but he did take off about 10 times the height it normally does. So yeah, as I was saying, the white highlight that we're going to do, we're just going to very, very gently dry brush a tiny bit of white over this. I'll say this is it has more effect on vertical pieces of stone, because it helps create captures of sunlight. It helps, I suppose, give the effects of a light source coming in from the top, which is why when you do it, you always do it top down. So since this is just a flat piece of pavement, it might not have the same effect. So we want a tiny bit. There we go. I'm just going to push over the whole thing. It'll be quite hard to tell, quite hard to see. But hopefully. There we go. That's looking all right to me. Can give some effect. So there you go. That's looking all right. So Roger says, is that the Will's stone sheet in the barn? Yes, it is. I can't remember which one it is. But it's just their standard stone. Nothing. It's not the fancy stuff. It's our new weathered roof tiles on the top, which I think look pretty pucker. I haven't finished it yet. I need to get some new doors because I kind of ruined mine for it. But hey ho, I'll just clean that brush. So it was the Tony Wright article on the A23, I think it was. I know he's doing one of them for BRM fairly soon. I can't remember if it's this month or next month though. But it's one I'm quite interested in, so hopefully this month. So we are all done with the paints now, to be fair. All we need to do now is bring out the washes. Just give you a very quick mix. So as you can see, it looks quite cartoon and garish at the moment, but hopefully, fingers crossed, and I'm doing this live, so it probably won't. It'll probably go awful and pear-shaped. Fingers crossed, as soon as I do this, it will transform it into something that looks like that. Hopefully, that's the plan. But of course, why does nothing go to plan live? So, lather it on, don't hold back. Loads and loads of this wash on. This is just plain black at the moment. Tiny bit more. So that's the first coat of black done. As you can see. Hopefully. So if you could hear my dog in the background, I think poster just arrived. So that's the first coat of black done. Now we're going to do one coat of brown. Any brown, any black will do. There's no preference. Any brand as well. I like the Ammo MIG stuff. I really do advocate them. I think they look amazing, to be honest. Now I'm just wanting to just go off a tiny bit, just a bit, so I don't ruin it. But let's go for it. All that's to the effect, though. So this is just brown, like I say. I think it's just probably a bit too much for it to absorb into the material. So I'm just going to clean my brush a tiny bit, hold it vertical, and going down to coax the excess off. This would look better, I would think, if I had left it for longer to go off for the wash, so I didn't just immediately take it off again. But hopefully you can see, of course it's glossy as well, which does not help showing to camera. Nice and streaky, nice and dark wash. I normally do another coat of black, but I think at this point, since it's still wet and I haven't got time to let it dry on camera, it will be better for me to do this later and upload a photo to the club and Facebook. But in theory, once that's dried, you do another coat of black and maybe another coat of brown and maybe like a green wash or something later. It will end up looking like that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I paint stone. I think you'll all agree. It's one of those things where last minute it just all turns, it comes to life. It looks streaky at the moment because it's all wet, but hopefully once it's all toned down a bit and dried a bit, it'll look much better. So if you just bear with me a second.
I'll get my lovely mug on. Never mind. Hopefully you can all hear me now. I can hear myself, but it's only for the outro, so it should be fine. Right. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that. If you want me to write an article on what we were doing, I will do. Just let me know, and I'll do that for the club. I'll also upload to Facebook. Yeah, hopefully everyone can hear me now, so I do apologise about that. Technical issues. No idea why it's doing that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully everyone has a good day, I'll post photos of what I've done once it's all dried. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week, hopefully in Cornwall. So thanks everyone. Stay safe and happy modelling. Enjoy.